And a warm welcome to everyone tuning in, joining us through the church website or Facebook page. Nice to gather again here, take some time to slow down together, just allow our bodies, minds, and spirits to gradually ground, our spirits. So thanks for making time in your life, in your day, just to press pause and tune in with this deeper ground. So as we're settling in, I just want to invite you to kind of let your body get landed and relax a little bit to the extent that it's able to right now. Giving yourself permission to just be here for this practice. It'll be, as usual, about half an hour. And a lot of that, I think, throughout our practice is giving ourselves permission in a number of ways. But at the outset, it really does help to just give ourselves this permission of pausing, prioritizing presence. So we allow ourselves just to gradually connect with our breath here. And what does the breath feel like right now? And as we're just settling in, it can be helpful to remind ourselves that there's nowhere else we have to be, nothing else we have to be doing right now. These also are just reminders or reinforcements to allow ourselves to be here. And if you're in a safe space for practice where you can comfortably close your eyes, I would encourage that, even recommend that. I do find it helps our practice to deepen and certainly allows our attention to be drawn a bit more intentionally within. I'm going to ring 3 opening chimes just to help ground us a little bit, supporting us in our prayer of presence here. So I invite you just to receive these chimes as a call, a gentle call to the clarity and calm of this moment. And in the midst of our practice, whenever we notice that our attention has wandered off, which it will, we can always gently return to the breath. The breath is here to offer grounding, always open and ready to gently receive us. And gradually this breath is helping us to tune into the deeper ground of being. the ground of the divine being, the divine presence. And in this practice, in this prayer, it's much more a process of allowing than trying to strive to achieve something. And we can bring that same kind of gentleness and grace whenever we notice our attention wandering away. Just gently back to the breath, starting right here. And as I often do toward the beginning of a practice, I have a word of wisdom to share from a spiritual teacher or leader. And I draw often from one of my teachers, Muji, and I have a word of encouragement or guidance that we can just allow it to kind of drop into our practice and see how it feels, see if it calls us into our practice a little bit more deeply. So I just invite you to welcome these words and see how or where they're guiding your attention. You've tried it the hard way. So now let's try it the heart's way, the effortless way for a little while. I have not come to burden you, but rather to free you of the notion that you need to work hard to awaken to the self. The divine is not even a breath away from you. It can never be apart from you. It is the core of your very being. And so in our practice here, in our prayer of presence, one breath at a time, we have the opportunity, the space to recognize that God's presence isn't even a breath away, that we are already held in this deeper ground of being. As the Apostle Paul reminds us very similarly here, it is in God we live and move and have our being. Or as Muji put it, the very core of our being is held in the divine. Slowly, slowly, we can remind ourselves there's no rush. We don't have to look any further forward than this breath right now. And we can remember to be very gentle with ourselves, very gracious. None of us is here to be perfect, to have it all together, to have it all figured out. In fact, in this practice, in this prayer, there's nothing we have to figure out. Similarly, nothing we have to force, nothing we have to fix. Even as we value these capacities, these tools, here in this prayer, we can set them down, opening ourselves to presence through feeling the breath. And as we feel this breath, we're not just feeling the sensations, physical sensations that the breath creates. We're allowing ourselves to feel the spacious movement of the breath itself. And again, we remind ourselves we can always come back to the breath. We're always welcome back here. And it's much like the divine presence. Even as we get distracted and our attention moves elsewhere, we're always fully welcome back here on the sacred ground of being. And we don't have to know what comes next. Even as our minds are very geared this way, wired to anticipate, even this we can allow ourselves to pause as we deepen our connection to presence, deepen our recognition of this dimension of our being. We don't have to plot a course forward. This practice doesn't require strategy. Simply feeling the breath and feeling into our very being. And little by little, as we feel into our own being, we are ultimately tuning in to a deeper ground, the common ground in the divine. And sometimes it's helpful to picture the breath moving as waves, the cycle of the breath representing the cycle of waves reaching and receding from a shoreline. With our inhalation, a lot like a wave rising up. And then eventually, of course, our exhalation, representing a wave being drawn back, pulled back into the sea. And feeling the breath moving in this way, mirroring this natural cycle of waves. We're also kind of showing the body or allowing the body to see what it is to receive and release. Receiving a new wave, releasing an old one. And there may be other things, I trust there are, for our bodies, minds, spirits, that we are ready to receive and ready to release. Trusting the wisdom of the breath to facilitate this. And once again, gently back to the breath. And again, there's nothing we have to try to consciously manage. Simply trusting the process, the practice, this very straightforward prayer. And as we're feeling the breath, also gradually allowing our bodies to relax a bit. Particularly if we're noticing specific tension or tightness somewhere in the body, we allow ourselves to relax a bit. give ourselves permission to let go. Or simply remind ourselves that there's nothing we have to hold on to. As Muji reminded us at the beginning of our practice, the divine God isn't even a breath away, so close. And yet we can breathe God, we can breathe in the divine through our respiration to be re-spirited, our inspiration. Allowing ourselves to awaken a bit more to the indwelling spirit of the divine. And as our practice is gradually winding down, in a few moments, I'm going to ring 3 closing chimes. Now, just because our practice is winding down doesn't mean we have to stop practicing. Doesn't mean we have to stop praying, opening into this divine presence. But we will wind down our formal shared practice. And again, I invite you to receive these chimes just as gentle gifts, gentle calls into the heart of this moment. And here at the end of our practice, it might feel good to take a few deeper breaths. And also inviting our body to stretch a little bit if that feels good. Just slowly inviting our attention back into the embodied space, the physical space. And there's no rush, still no hurry. Just very gently returning. And I see some signing off already. Peace on your way. And for everyone else tuning in, and those here in the Zoom space, but also those tuning in later on through the church website, just thank you for allowing space for this kind of practice in your life. And whether it's here with us or any of the millions of other useful meditations you can find online, or just within your own stillness, I thank you. I encourage you to continue allowing space for this, and hope to see you along the road. So come practice with us again another time. Peace for now.